Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to cover a little bit about premonitions and how to handle your visions of future events, whether they be great or small. In the weeks following the horrific events of September 11th, 2001, many people claimed to have had premonitions of the attacks days or even weeks before it had happened. And we get this with a lot of events. School shootings, anything. There's always somebody that starts talking about, well, they knew it was going to happen. The problem with the vast majority of alleged premonitions is that they are not documented. Anyone can say they've had a premonition about a train wreck, the World Series outcome, somebody getting a divorce, or any other event after the fact. What makes them worthy of serious consideration is the proof that you have indeed had the premonition well before the event. Premonitions are a feeling that something is going to happen. It is foretelling the future. Most people have experienced premonitions to one degree or another. The phone rings and you just know who it is that's calling, even though the call was unexpected. Sometimes you just know who's going to be at the door right before they show up and knock on the door. Sometimes premonitions are not as specific, but just as strong or stronger. Perhaps a great, unexplained feeling of sadness has been bothering you all day. It is only later that you learn that a close relative may have passed away. There are many such instances that we experience now and then, and sometimes the skeptics would usually say always. They can be attributed to mere coincidence. Others say there is no such thing as coincidence. I'm one of those, but that's another topic. There are times, however, when a premonition is so strong that the one experiencing it has little doubt that it is going to happen. These powerful premonitions are much rarer, but happen often enough that some paranormal researchers believe that they are real. Some people seem to be more sensitive to these types of feelings and may be called sensitives or psychics. These feelings are also most powerful among close relatives, where the psychic bond seems to be the strongest. And if this talk of psychic bonds irks you as sounding like New Age stuff, then consider that even some mainstream scientists, quantum physicists, and psychiatrists alike understand more and more that all human consciousness is connected. Premonitions can be as subtle as a gnawing feeling, or can be so overwhelming that they jolt you out of your everyday routine and prevent you from thinking of little else. They can be very vague, nothing more than just a feeling, or they can be so vivid that some experiencers say it is like watching a film. Premonitions can foretell something that happens a minute later, or weeks, or even many months later. They can come while you're doing the dishes, or they can come in dreams. If you are prone to premonitions that very often come true, or you've had a strong premonition that some future event, you must document it. An undocumented premonition is virtually worthless and will not be believed. You're probably not going to want to document every little premonition that you have. In fact, it may not even be possible to document some of them. You know, that phone ring, or right before the phone rings, you know somebody's going to call. You ain't going to have time to document it before the phone rings. Explore some of these options that I'm about to give you and see what kind of fits for you as far as documenting. Like, even if you haven't talked to, let's say, your sister in a couple of months, but you had a dream, or you have this feeling that she's pregnant, document it. Because that's a major life change. And at some point, she will tell you if she is indeed pregnant. And then you can share in the joy and, you know, celebrate. But you can also be like, look, I knew it. You can keep a diary. Get just a regular journal and write down any premonitions that you might have. Be sure to note the time and the date that you experienced it. The weakness in this method, as far as verification by others is concerned, is that such diaries can be altered and faked, putting down a predated notation of an event that's already happened. The value of a diary, assuming you are honest, is that you have the personal record of your premonitions and the success rate of which you can actually track. You can tell others. Don't keep your premonitions a secret. You won't want to become an annoying bore to your friends with every little premonition you have. But if you think it may be something important, tell somebody that you trust. It's another piece of evidence. Using the examples above, you know, about the surprise for your sister being pregnant and everything, you may not want to tell her before she tells you. But if you tell a friend, then, you know, that's a backup for your premonition actually coming true. The weakness in this method is that it relies on human honesty and sometimes faulty memories. Using email might be a better way to tell a friend, but emails can also be altered, and sometimes they're just not believable. But you can use a date-stamped location. The best way to document your premonition is in a date-stamped location that is not in your control. You might want to use the Premonitions Project or a similar database to enter your premonition. And this camera that I use for these videos, you put your name, it comes with the date, you can select the time format, and you can also have it put your location, colors that you choose. You know, if you want to, if it's like a really deep premonition, you know, you might want to use like red. If it's something about like a birth or healing or something like that, you know, pick maybe light blue. There's different colors and stuff that you can set on this, and this app that this camera app that I'm using is literally just called Timestamp Camera, and I pay for mine, but there is a free version to it. And be specific in your premonitions. Regardless of the methods that you use, be thorough in the description of your premonitions, including as many specifics as you can recall. It's sometimes difficult to describe feelings, but you can do your best. Describe locations, people, names, landmarks, shapes, colors, smells, temperatures, emotions that you sensed. Include it all. Guard against padding your descriptions with things you just can't really make sense of. You want to be as accurate and honest as possible. If you believe your premonition has been fulfilled, be as honest about that as well. It may not be 100% accurate, but there should be enough correct detail to verify your premonition. This is where your detailed report comes in. If you just say, I sense a train wreck somewhere in the eastern US, your credibility goes way down because, unfortunately, virtually every week there's a train wreck somewhere in the eastern US. The more likely an event is to happen, the less seriously your vague premonition will be taken. And don't let premonitions slip by. The more verifiable evidence we have of this phenomenon, the closer we will become to understanding it. Like I said, this is just the opening video. There will be, I'm going to say, maybe 3 to 4 more videos about premonitions, but I will scatter them out throughout this series. The next one up, I believe, is going to be about deja vu. So see you around, everybody.